This is for Year 10 General Pathway, and it's a little revision using your calculator for finding angles and side lengths and ratios in trigonometry. First off, have your calculator in degrees or decimals. So if you're using the ClassPad 300, go into Main, make sure this is decimal and make sure that is degree. And if you're using the ClassPad 400, go into Main, make sure that's decimal, and make sure that's degree. It's very easy to touch them and change them. I'm going to go Edit Clear All, so I have a nice clean screen, and Edit Clear All, so I've got a nice clean screen. Okay, 3 questions. First one, finding sine, cos, tan of an angle. Sine of 25 degrees. I'll bring up my keyboard, in Math, Trig, sine 25, close bracket, press execute to equal, and I'm always looking for 4 decimal places. So 0.422618, that's where my 4th decimal point is, between the 6 and the 1. The 1 is small, therefore it equals 0.4226. And over here, I bring up my keyboard, I've got sine there, looking for 25 degrees, execute, and I get the same answer. Cos of 17 degrees, 5 minutes and 12 seconds. So cos, interactive, transformation, degrees, minutes, seconds. I have 17, 5, 12. Okay, there's my answer, 0.95. 0.95586, therefore the 8 becomes 9 because I have a 6 after that point. 95, another 5, 8, 6, 1, 4. That's where so 9559. And over here to do the same thing, I'm looking for a cosine. I just have to press this to get my degrees, minutes and seconds, and I can type 17. And in here I can type, 5? And in here I can type 12. And press execute, and you'll notice I get the same answer. And the tan of 25.5, tan 25.5, execute to 4 decimal places becomes 47697. The 7 is big, so 4, 7, the 6 will become 7. 477. I'll accept that, or I'll accept 0.4770. And over here the tan of 25.5 equals the same answer. Finding angles in decimal form. Because I'm finding angles, I need to use the inverse. So I need to use sine inverse or cos inverse or tan inverse whenever I've been given the ratio. So x is actually going to equal the inverse cosine of 0.875. And in this case, x is going to equal the inverse sine of 0.666. And this one, x is going to equal the inverse cosine of 1. And I'm obviously going to use these here for my inverse sine, inverse cos, and inverse tan. So the first one, in decimal form. Inverse cos of 0.875, and that's going to equal 29.955, 28.955. So my answer is 28.955, and if I was doing that to 2 decimal places, 28.96 degrees. And over here, if I go into Trig, there is my inverse cos, and it's of 0.875, execute, same answer. If I'm looking for the inverse sine of 0.666, execute, 41.759 becomes 41.76. And over here, the inverse sine of 0.6, new line, inverse sine of 0.666, execute gives me the same answer, 41.759. And the last question, the inverse tan, this is to degrees, minutes, seconds. So new line, inverse tan of 1.55 gives me this answer. And this answer as a degrees, minutes, seconds, I take into a new line, I select it, interactive transform, and I wish to use 2 degrees, minutes, seconds, and that tells me that it's 57 degrees. Where's my cursor? X equals 57 degrees, 10 minutes, 17.2 seconds, and this is in a decimal, so it'd have to be up to 0.4 would be small, so 17 seconds is the answer. And on the ClassPad 400, the same thing. I'm looking for the inverse tan of 1.55, execute. There's my answer. Slightly different. If I go to Math 1 and I press this, then I take this answer, drag and drop it there, and then press Xe. It gives the same answer as we had over here, 57 degrees, 10 minutes and 17 seconds. And lucky last, the inverse cosine of 1. So math and into trig, inverse cosine of 1, execute gives me 0. And if I do the same over here, the inverse cosine of 1 gives me 0. So the answer is x equals 0 degrees. Okay, that's a review of what we did in finding and using your calculator from last chapter.